versions of OpenOptions. This is known as the desktop or expert version. So this is kind of like the stealth bomber version of OpenOptions. And then there are two internet versions. And let me just show you a little bit about what it looks like, because everything the internet version can do, this desktop version can do and more. And so at openop.com is the internet version, and we let people know where our Facebook page is. And so, so in here, one of the things that I like about this particular version is I can give clients homework to do and then monitor their homework by looking at the system. So without going too deep into this, because this is, I could be here for a week and you wouldn't hear everything that's about this. But one of the things that we do for middle school and high school students is, instead of jumping in and performing an assessment, we have a list of videos that we want the student to watch that cover the item content of all interest inventories. And these videos last generally about 2 minutes. And I'll take a chance here and click on one. Oh, I don't have any speakers connected, so it wouldn't make any difference. So I'm going to cancel that. So take it on a leap of faith that each video takes less than 2 minutes. And so you're seeing it, you're experiencing it on the screen. And then what we're able to do, because see, many high school students and middle school students will tell you that it's ridiculous to give them an interest assessment because of the semantic distortion that takes place. So if I said accountant, believe it or not, many students don't know what an accountant is. And so they guess. And if you ever saw the movie Office Space, that was a comedy on TV, the computer guys were all discussing how they got into the computer business because they all hated it. And they were just, well, I saw my high school counselor and said I was good in math and maybe I should, you know, and so forth. So anyhow, what we're doing here is we're saying that, you know, if I have you go through the content, which also includes Canadian videos, by the way, because some of the Canadian videos are pretty good, because whereas the, and I'm not knocking the United States videos, I'm just saying that the Canadian videos will cover some things that are a little different, like beekeeper, cheese producer, you know, and you read in some of these magazines like People and so forth, you know, she was a high-flying executive in the finance industry and then went off to pursue her true passion, cheese. So when you go in here, other things like e-commerce programmers, financial brokers, and so forth. So the idea is that if I have you cover the item content beforehand, now I start asking you questions about this. You at least have some experience. You've at least seen something. And so that's how we use the video section in here. Client side of the internet version does not have search capabilities. And the difference is for professionals, it has search capabilities. So you can build searches like I'm showing you in here. Okay, so that's a fundamental difference. The reason we have that IT department will not permit people to have this type of software on their desk, because this software actually will go out to our server to look at business, Outlook, and this it's a non sequitur, it doesn't make any sense, but they can log on to an internet site and search the internet site for this kind of data. So I don't invent the world. I just help people figure out how to live in it, okay? So in a way, it's saying, like, you can't come through the front door, but you can come in through the window. And so they're happy. Now, what I'm going to do is a really interesting example. And we're going to go in here. all these examples that I'm showing you are actual examples. So here is an electronics mechanic. Now, electronics mechanic is also somebody who repairs what we call big iron, mainframe computers, cloud computing centers, printer plotters, things that process millions of checks and that sort of thing. And this gentleman not only developed emotional problems, but he developed physical problems as well. And the idea here was, here's a highly skilled occupation, and wanted to see, is there any kind of work that he could do? And he did want to find some kind of work, so he wasn't trying to avoid work, but very heavily medicated and physical restrictions. And so I'm going to show you one of the things that we can do. If we go over here, what we're able to do is we're able to do a pre and post morbid report. So in this system, what it'll allow you to do is do an analysis of what those aptitude scores mean. And so if we go in here and we ask the computer to translate the data, what it'll do is say, this was this gentleman before the unfortunate set of circumstances took place. So it says, and I didn't put in his real name, but it said, he has the capacity to comprehend, learn, and apply a wide range of common sense, rational, logical, and business principles found in a broad spectrum of entry-level, semi-skilled, and skilled occupations requiring somewhere between 2 and 6 years of post-high school preparation. And then he should have a flexible learning style that makes him a suitable candidate for a variety of classroom and non-classroom approaches to instruction. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is take a look at him afterwards. Okay? So now, that was him before. Now what we're going to do is look at the after picture. Post-morbid, he is likely to have a primarily experiential learning style along with the capacity to think in terms of cause and effect. So what this means is now he could participate in things that he can see, hear, say, and do as long as it's not abstract. So that means he could succeed in a number of market-targeted, pragmatic, semi-skilled training programs, but he's most comfortable with procedures and techniques where he could acquire new skills on the job. From a classroom standpoint, he is best suited for newer instructor-mediated or interactive computer video approaches. Notice, we didn't attach IQ scores to this. We didn't say, anything. What we're describing is in functional terms what you can do. This makes sense, doesn't it? And he made it very clear that he does not want a career. He simply wants some kind of work. Because heretofore, after his injury and after his decompensation emotionally, he sat at home smoking.